It's time now for our Sunrise Smart Start on this Tuesday. Monroe County seeing a decrease in opioid overdoses. The average number of overdoses in the last 3 months is 50 per month. That's compared to 73 a month at the same time a year ago. Erica DeCoste live in Rochester with more on the downward trend. Welcome news here, Erica. Good morning.
Good morning, Mark. Well, the downward trend definitely is welcome news, and officials say they want to pinpoint why this trend is happening, and that's not easy to do. I spoke to Deputy Mike Favada with Monroe County Heroin Task Force, who says at the start of the pandemic, overdose and fatalities skyrocketed. You had a situation where all resources for those struggling were gone overnight. That includes activities that offered distraction, like going to work or the gym. But within a few months, Favada says the task force was able to work through hurdles, a 24-hour intervention team, and local services like Huther Doyle. Favada says it's important, though, to keep in mind these numbers aren't the full picture.
We know that, people get Narcan all the time, and it's not getting reported, and what people need to realize is the Good Samaritan law protects that. Understand, if we come to your house and there's narcotics there and whatnot, nobody's gonna get in trouble. You called to save somebody's life, that's it.
Now, Favada says if you're with someone who is overdosing, make sure you call 911 right away. Even if there's a Narcan, this can wear off and they can fall back into the overdose, so make sure you are getting that help. In Rochester, Erica DeCoste, News 8.
Erica, thank you. The county task force is working with public schools virtually for educational programs. They plan to resume in-person presentations coming up in the fall. Well, President Biden wants millionaires to foot the bill for his plan to boost new social programs. They include child care and paid family leave. Joined by Washington correspondent Jesse Tenor this morning, live outside the Capitol. Jesse, good morning. The president here trying to fulfill another campaign promise. Just how tough a sell is this going to be for lawmakers?
Yeah, good morning. It's sounding like even though the president hasn't officially unveiled this plan yet, that it will be a tough sell to especially Republicans who don't really have a major appetite to raise taxes. To foot the bill for things like more accessible child care and paid family leave across the board, President Biden is suggesting increasing the capital gains tax. And that will impact, the White House says, about 500,000 households, Americans who make more than $1 million. And this is a lot through investments. And so the White House is arguing that these Americans, only about 30% of their income is taxed, compared to about 70% for most Americans. And so they're kind of trying to tackle this too from a fairness aspect. But again, not a huge appetite to raise taxes, and so we'll see kind of how this debate plays out over the next couple months.
Yeah, it could be a tough sell for those Republicans on the Hill. What else does the president plan to lay out? What are we expecting to hear in the address to Congress tomorrow?
Yeah, a lot of the focus has been on these domestic priorities, but we should be hearing, too, more about foreign policy as well, particularly when it comes to countries like China and Russia. And also the troop pullout from Iraq. And so dealing with that from a foreign policy standpoint, but then also more domestically, especially when it comes to issues like police reform. The president is really hoping to kind of gain some momentum there, and also for his infrastructure package. That's another hefty price tag that he's already unveiled.
Jesse, thank you again for the live update from Washington. The president has already rolled out a $2 trillion infrastructure plan that would be paid for with a corporate tax increase, or at least in part. All right, James Gilbert back with us talking about the weather here on a Tuesday morning. A little overcast. We saw some peaks of sun earlier up at the port, but it should shape up to be a halfway decent day here.
I think so. Why not get a jog in this Tuesday morning as temperatures start off in the upper 30s to around 40 running forecast, or maybe a dog walk. Why not take it easy this morning as temperatures are pretty comfortable. We do look at a nice hiking forecast as well. Some filtered sunshine, we'll call it. A big jump in temperatures yesterday. Yesterday the high was 51. Today we're going 68. If you're in the Finger Lakes, you'll get to 70s. So get out there and enjoy it. Of course, we have rain in the next few days. We'll take a look at the 8-day forecast at the end of the show.
All right, James, thank you. Been a broken record with our traffic updates this morning. Not a whole lot to talk about, and we know that's a good thing, right? Smooth sailing, 390, 490, and 590 at this hour as you head out the door to work and school. One person sent to the hospital after a house fire in Rochester. This happened on Child Street around 8 o'clock last night. Firefighters say the two-family home was heavily damaged. The victim was sent to the hospital with smoke inhalation. 3 adults and a child are being helped by the Red Cross. That house is unlivable. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Governor Cuomo announcing capacity changes for offices, outdoor stadiums, and even the state fair yesterday. Starting May 15th, gyms and fitness centers outside New York City will be able to increase capacity from 33 up to 50%. On that same day, casinos and gaming facilities will go from 25 to 50%, and offices from 50 to 75% capacity. Then on May 19th, outdoor stadiums can increase from 20 to 33% capacity. The governor says all of this a step toward returning to normal.
COVID was truly devastating on many, many levels. But getting past COVID is also exciting. And the spring is here, and the renewal and the rebirth. And we have to get on with the task of making it a reality, which is just what we're doing.
Well, the governor also announcing the New York State Fair will go on for the full 18-day timeline this year, August 20th to September 6th. It will operate at 50% capacity with safety restrictions in place as well. Kirk Ashton, the principal in the Hilton School District accused of sexually abusing students, is due back in court today. A grand jury indicted Ashton on multiple charges of sexual abuse and 11 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Ashton is expected to be arraigned at today's appearance. A state of emergency remains in effect in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, amid growing outrage over a police-involved shooting there. Sheriff's deputies shot and killed Andrew Brown last week. The officers were serving the 42-year-old with a warrant on felony drug charges. He was shot as he tried to drive away. Monday, body camera video of the incident was shown to Brown's family. Their attorneys say they only saw a single 20-second clip. They are calling for the release of all recordings related to the incident. Well, new this morning, a New York City police officer has died following an overnight hit and run in Queens. The officer was helping direct traffic at the scene of an earlier accident when he was hit by the sedan, which then drove off. Police say they do have a suspect in custody this morning. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is expected to hold a media briefing about this later in the morning. Time now for a look at the GRE Morning Business Report on this Tuesday. Drug maker Santa Fe has signed a deal to help produce as many as 200 million doses of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine beginning in the fall. The production would be based here in the U.S. and help boost supply through April of next year. According to the New York Times, the European Union will allow fully vaccinated Americans to travel to Europe this summer. Officials have not given a specific timeline for that travel, but the European Commission is expected to recommend a policy change that would allow resumed travel from the states. Honda wants to go green. The Japanese automaker announcing plans to phase out all gasoline-powered vehicles in North America by the year 2040. It is the latest major automaker with a goal of becoming carbon neutral. The company's CEO expects that 40% of its North American vehicle sales will be battery or fuel cell powered by the end of the decade. Listen to this one, a VHS rental with a record penalty. A Texas woman found out she was charged with a felony for not returning a VHS tape back in 1999. She only learned about the charge after she tried to change her name following her marriage. The tape in question, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. The movie rental location went out of business back in 2008. The charges were dropped after her story aired on TV. There you go. All right, let's find out what's happening at the water cooler this morning. Perhaps you saw it lighting up the sky last night, the first supermoon of 2021. This video captured over New York City, the bright orange and pink color, the first of a trio of consecutive supermoons, James, followed by another on May 26th and the third on June 12th. 24th.
Yes.
Quite the sight.
Team coverage, wall to wall. We will be letting you know when the next supermoon happens. It's just all it is. It's pretty simple. Combination of when the moon is closest to the Earth and when it lines up with a full moon. Of course, when I come in is whether or not we have clear skies to see it. Right? That's the most important part.
Of course, right. And last night we did, at least as it came up over the horizon, which was something to behold.
Yeah, it was perfect. Really nice to see. A lot of pictures on our social media. Go check those out. Then the rain moved through and coated the roads with a little bit of a wet glaze. Watch out for that this morning. Temperatures in the 40s. It's definitely jacket worthy out there to start. But the good news is we warm up pretty nicely to finish, depending on location. Look at Greece this afternoon, stuck in the 50s. You take a short ride south to Honey Eye Falls, you've got 72. Man, take me to the Finger Lakes, low 70s there. Just really nice and comfortable. And then day at 75, Mount Morris 74 degrees. News 8 8-day forecast, here you go. Rain tomorrow and Thursday. Mark, we'll cover it all for you here on News 8 Sunrise.
All right, James, thank you. That's it for us for now here on Sunrise. Our next update in 30 minutes. CBS This Morning is coming up next. Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.